My friends, welcome back to a new episode of Nuclear Heatwave Podcast. Now, something a little bit different today. Normally you'll see, another guy to my what do we call this stage right, stage left? I don't know what it's called, but normally you'll see another guy, Dr. Love, but unfortunately, he's a little bit under the weather. We all wish him well. He definitely enjoyed himself at SummerSlam. So over here, I got my buddy over here with me, one of the Don River Dudleys. Let them know who you are again.
D-Town Dudley, baby.
Hey!
All right. AKA the real world champion right here, baby.
Oh, you talking about this thing right here?
Yeah. Of course, there was a match that was added to SummerSlam that y'all didn't see. And this guy actually won the title thanks to interference from Dr. Love, so this is not over yet.
Oh, look at that. Let's finally come back to, we've been doing this podcast for a year now. And it feels good that on the anniversary Tuesday that I'm here with the gold. I'm not too old, but this bad boy right here makes me feel as young as I can. Only because next week I'm turning the big 4-0. Can't wait.
That's right.
But with that being said, let me put this over here. But like I said, we wish Mr. Love the best, and hopefully he'll definitely be back on next week. Listen, so Dr. Love, if you're watching this right now, which I'm sure you are, wish you the best, and listen, Recoli, okay? Eat as much Recoli drops as you possibly can. Yeah. So with that being said, first chat. Oh, and just by the way, let us know how we sound on here, because I just got this bad boy right here. Because normally, talk through the headphones, but I decided, put on my big boy pants and get a little Yeti microphone. So as far as y'all hearing hopefully y'all hear the audio fine, let me know. But shout out to Papa Mafia with the yeah. And then, of course, every time you yell us, we yell you right back. Well, we got, like I said, once again, just want to give another shout out to Dr. Love. That man, he has been on some of these shows where he definitely, like he was on death's door, but he toughed it out. Come through us every week or so. There's been times where I've been out of it, but once again, feel soon, brother.
Get well soon.
Oh, listen, once again, hold on. The real champ, Papa Mafia knows. He knows who the real champion is,
Papa
right?
Mafia, thanks to interference from Dr. Love, okay?
We're
not done with this yet.
So what's crazy is, side note real quick, because we do this little trivial thing as far as with points where, we win our little tomato foul championship. You know what's crazy? Had I not cashed in my point beforehand, you would have won.
I know. Thanks a lot, Oscar.
Listen, well, it was more like thanks a lot, Bianca. At this point, she basically took it from both of us. So let's get down to business, shall we?
Let's go.
Before we start, so this is supposed to be about SummerSlam. But before we go to SummerSlam, I gotta rant for a minute. And no, it's not about Tony Khan and his stupid booking. But so we went to a little show called GCW. Well, I went, and one of the other Dudley brothers went with me. Dear Harpos, there is no reason why your venue should have been hot as it was. It was like 90 degrees outside. So it had to been like 150 on the inside. People passing out, people gassed out. I got people falling left and right inside of me. We ended up having to leave because one of the people we went with was about to pass out themselves. You knew your venue was in the middle of summer. Why did I turn the AC on? That's ridiculous. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Granted, the tickets was $35. I would have paid an extra $15 to turn that AC on. Y'all pay that electric bill. So GCW, shame on y'all. Oh, even though the venue, as far as the card was good or not, I got to talk to some folks, whatever they learned about the podcast a little bit more. But Harpo's in Detroit, Michigan on the east side, shame on y'all. There's no reason why I say we all in there sweating like that, like to the point where I had to take I'm sitting there in my undershirt. Couldn't even wear my wrestling tee no more because the thing was drenched in sweat. Shame on y'all. And come next year, get it together, okay? Because we want to come back to more shows. Pay that electrical bill, okay? Take care of y'all. Take care of y'all DTE. All right. Okay. But overall, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good show as far as if anyone. Unfortunately didn't get to see Jeff Hardy because once again somebody decided to put in a venue with no AC. But overall, I mean, I got to see. Hey, listen, Mila Slamovich was there. Right. She did the damn thing because she actually had an intergender match, and she won. And then Commander was there.
Yeah, very stacked card. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go, but the card was pretty stacked from top to bottom. So, shout out for at least the card being stacked from top to bottom.
Yeah, like let's put it this way: it's nothing against GCW. It's Harpo's. It's the venue itself. Because GCW, like I said, outstanding show, outstanding performances from the wrestlers that work hard to be there. But you just put in a venue where the owner decided he wanted to be extra cheap on the electrical bill. Okay, but okay, I promise. I'm done ranting. I'm done.
Now let's get to the nitty gritty.
I'm done. No, I'm not get. But so SummerSlam. So apparently, we had a big. There was a big brawl that took place over the weekend, involving weapon event involves some weaponry, a few chairs, and we're not talking about Alabama. We're talking about Ford Field, baby.
Oh yeah, home of the Detroit Lions.
Yes,
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out. Listen, well, y'all better win the North, you cowards. But anyway, so a few of us want to give a shout out to Big League Brews. They supplied the party bus. They made sure we got there safely and got back safely in the chaos that was called traffic. A lot of us went. For some people, it was their very first show. So, like Dr. Love, his wife, it was her very first wrestling show. Awesome. So, I mean, what better show than SummerSlam?
Right, a pay-per-view.
Yeah, at that. Right. I mean, man, imagine her first show was like taping the Sunday Night Heat.
Dude, I don't know what I would do. I mean, some of the Sunday Night Heat, like when they first started, was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
because it was going right into the pay-per-view.
Or like if she would have started at what was it, Saturday when they brought back Saturday Night Event, and the main event was Heel Matt Hardy versus Undertaker.
Oh, jeez.
It was terrible. I say it was okay match. Don't remember the rest of that show. And then no. I'm sorry. I apologize, y'all. It wasn't Saturday main event. It was the other. It was what's the name?
One of those one-off shows that they had.
Take the Superstars.
Yep.
That was on the network. Yeah, that crap.
Yeah.
But so as far as Ford Field goes, SummerSlam, it was actually a pretty solid show. Like I wasn't mad at it at all. Well, there were some matches. Well, it's no secret, y'all. It was at least one match that nobody cared about. And unfortunately, I stayed because I left another match early. So I got to suffer through it for y'all. So I say, you want to go ahead? Let's go ahead and start off the Battle Royal.
Yeah, let's start off with the Battle Royal.
Right.
So, it was quite an interesting Battle Royal. We got a surprise with Omos, which was definitely, we know you got to have something in there for everybody to overcome a big obstacle. I would like to see him and Bronson Reed, big sweaty meat slap.
Ooh, slap.
That would have been pretty cool, but it turned out to be really good, and one of our fan favorites actually won that match.
And who might that have been?
L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
All right.
But so I didn't. So when I walked, I went to the bathroom, went and got something, and came back, and right when I came back, tossed Sheamus on out. So what you're saying is, almost won it.
All right. Good enough. He almost won it. Actually not. So I can tell you this. This Karrion Kross AJ thing is getting, that kind of played a factor in it.
Okay.
I don't know how many people seen Raw, but LA Knight and Miz had a segment, but that kind of led into that. So it's kind of getting interesting now. LA Knight is kind of like all over the place. So he's definitely that guy right now.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a guy. Like whether he's on Raw, whether on SmackDown, they keep telling. Well, so the dirt sheets keep saying, he's being promised a push. He's gonna go from here to here, but they keep, then they also saying that he's getting the shaft here and whatnot. But here's the thing: with a guy like LA Knight, yeah, we all want to see him with main event gold around his waist, but what's good for him is that he's killing it without a belt.
I was going to say to the point.
Yeah.
As over as he is now, I don't think he needs a belt to actually be the way he is. You can build him up like Cody doesn't have a belt. Look at him.
Miz don't have a belt. Miz hasn't won the championship in a minute.
So those guys have the it factor where they don't need a belt, but a piece of gold, yeah, I mean it's great, but as long as you're moving merch like they need to do, or you got the crowd behind you, that's really what you want. It's not so much about having a belt. That just come with more things, but him just being him and coming out even in the press conference, he also said that, hey, I don't need a rocket strap behind my back. I'll make my own rocket. So shout out to LA Knight for calling that out.
And what I was kind of bummed out though when he all the wrestlers came, whatever. And I'm gonna go on a small little rant about that match, even though I didn't really watch it, but it was something that happened before. I kind of got me a little hot and unbothered. But I knew that Miz was gonna get his own walk down. LA Knight got his walk down, and I thought he was gonna cut a promo. He didn't. It is what it is. But let me ask you a question, D-Town. Let me talk to you. You're a wrestler. Let's say you're a wrestling promoter, right? As a promoter, what would cause you to put your United States champion in a pointless battle royal? Can you explain it?
At this point, I have nothing for you. And now I don't know what to do with you. So I'm just going to throw you in the battle royal just to say, okay, you was at SummerSlam. I mean, there are some cases, and I'm not biased, but there are a match that shouldn't have been on here that could have been replaced easy by a couple of matches, but we'll get to that later. But I think it's just to throw him in there. There's no rhyme or reason why he should have been in there.
So the only way I would say face for this battle royale. Okay, so Miz got his own entrance. He came out right.
Right.
AJ Styles got his own right,
which was awesome.
Yeah, which is rightfully so. And LA Knight got one right.
Right.
So if you was gonna put your U.S. champion in this pointless battle royal,
he should have gotten an entrance as well.
He should have got his entrance.
Yeah.
And actually, you could have even made it so that he came out last. Or LA Knight came out. Either way you flopped it, it would have worked either way.
Now, my thought was LA Knight was going to come out last after everybody, after the Miz and AJ. I thought, LA Knight was going to be the last one, to get that bigger pop.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the pop anyway. But
oh, yeah.
I would have thought more so him coming out last, but I guess they kind of had to mix it up a little bit to say like, oh, well, he's coming out here. So maybe it's just throw the crowd off. So,
right.
My thing is this, though. I like the way they did it. I like the match. I would have done things maybe just a tad bit differently. How about you?
Well, I didn't see the match because I was using the restroom and I was grabbing food, talking to the fans. But I heard, as far as the battle royal itself, they like you said, you got some potential now. You can throw a Bronson Reed versus Omos, and throw that, you can throw that on the card or not. Then you got, little AJ Styles. You go with whoever. Even though they're talking about LA Knight and Miz dancing a little bit together. I mean, sure, you can still do some more LA Knight versus Sheamus and Brawling Brutes. So the only good thing I guess that came out of this match is some storylines you can start setting up before WrestleMania season.
Right. Or you could even throw it back to the NXT days with LA Knight and Grayson Waller would be pretty good.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So there is possibilities. So I'm not going to say this match was a complete wash, but for the most part, this literally could have been on. This could have been on the pre-show.
I can tell you what made the match good. I'm gonna tell you what made it good.
Mm-hmm.
The commercial after.
Hey!
Snap into a Slim Jim. Come on, everybody. I mean, it had the Macho Man, Bianca Belair with the red and yellow, and LA Knight really made it. So I mean, that was awesome. That really sold it after he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal. That was really cool.
So are you saying that now we should be saying snap to Slim Jim? Yeah.
Absolutely. There you go. I like that.
Because I did when he won and came, and I was looking at the screen. I'm at this point, because the way this man is popular, he's moving merch. We're not sure. Just make him the face of Slim Jim now. I had my first Slim Jim in like 10 years, 6 months ago, and I bit into it and tasted nothing but regret. But that's besides the point. But as far as LA Knight, listen, like I say, hey, you know what's better than a belt? Sponsors. You know why? Because
that money.
Yeah. That money. Yeah. But shout out to LA Knight. But as far as with our ratings, how many headlines you get in this battle royale? Or to give everybody some context, because normally we have a little spreadsheet up or not, but due to circumstances, we kind of had to redo some stuff on the fly. So, traditionally, 1 through 5, we do 1 through 5 as far as headlocks. Anything bigger than 5, 6-star rating. Dave Meltzer, that's man meat worthy. And then we don't do one headlock. We just say it's a shock master. And then if it's worse than, if it's a 1, it's booty cheeks. And then anything worse than 1, like it was just like a -1, that's the shock master. So just to bring, just catch you up to speed. So
I'm gonna give it a 3 headlock. I think a 3 headlock. That's pretty deep. I mean, the match, it wasn't, it's a battle royal, so you can never go wrong with a battle royal. And like I said, the Slim Jim commercial made it even better, because that right there, like coming immediately after the win, was like pretty awesome, because we wasn't expecting that. So
right,
and everybody just kind of like popped when the commercial came. So hey, 3 headlocks plus the commercial.
I guess I don't want to be too well. Since how I missed most of the match, I didn't care about it in the first place. So I would say, if anything, 2 headlocks, only because there's potential that was built afterwards. If this was like, once again, this should have been on the pre-show. That's just me. But shout out to Mad Hatter returning. What's up, fellas? Oh, he said thumbs up, fellas. Thumbs up to you, Mad Hatter. Shout out to you. Hey, NWO for life. Listen, you know what time it is. Listen, baby. Baby, you know what time it is. So, yeah, I would say, so you giving it 3 headlocks. I'm giving it 2 headlocks. It was, had nothing built from it from Raw. It could have been booty cheeks, but, So, with that being said.
Oh, Jesus.
So Logan Paul versus Ricochet.
I actually like that match.
Right.
It was actually, it set up and did what it was supposed to do. You had your spots. You had your high flying. Logan Paul, he was due for a win. His brother actually won too.
Hey, listen, shout out to the Pauls.
Yeah. I like they really sold the match. Ricochet, shout out to him too. Man, they really did. It was a lot of high flying, hard hitting. I like the fact that he pulled, he pulled out the brass knucks at the end, which was like totally awesome.
Yep.
What do you think? Give me.
So I do like the fact, because actually I thought that the Battle Royal was going to be the opener. I'm glad it wasn't. But this being the opener, I think was actually a smart move. Whoever played out this card,
absolutely,
because the way these two set the tone for the night. There's a lot of high flying for both of them, and I keep telling people, say what you want about Logan Paul. We're just talking about Logan Paul, the wrestler. We never talk about Logan Paul, the YouTuber, and this guy.
He can go.
Oh yeah, he could definitely pass go. He could collect $200. But what I honestly feel, get that man a mid-card belt right now. Get that man a U.S. title.
You know,
Get that man maybe Intercontinental, but let the man go on the U.S. title run for a minute.
And then you can have LA Knight take him out.
It writes itself.
There's your WrestleMania right there.
It writes itself. Listen, Papa H, if you're watching, I know you got people watching. Okay, we give you free gold.
Listen,
right
if you ever need writers, we're here.
Listen,
we're here.
But with that being said, I definitely enjoyed this match. You know what the best part about the match was?
What was that? Was it Samantha?
Yes.
The fact that
he won. Because for a second, I didn't, for the first bit or so, I didn't put two and two together. And I'm like, why don't I hear the announcer? He won the match, right? And my brother, shout out to Big O, he was like, he was talking trash about her week before. I was like, duh. But yeah, overall, the match itself, definitely enjoyed it. It was, that match could have also, it could have been like two matches before the main event, and it's still anywhere you put that match, it still would have been solid. It would have been gold.
You know what's cool though about that they left it open ended.
Yeah.
So they can go and run it back again. I don't know, maybe not at Payback, maybe at the next pay-per-view. So I think that'll be cool too. So I hope to see another match between those two. I think it's got even better potential, especially if it's like a cage match or something where they can do even more higher spots. So I think that'll be pretty cool.
Give me Logan Paul give me Logan Paul doing a buckshot lariat off the cage. I don't know how he'll do it. He'll flip off and just pow, ricochet.
Oh my god, that'd be so awesome. I'd be like, okay, good night, everybody. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home.
But like I said, as far as the match, I'm gonna let you go first with the rating. What are we doing?
I'm actually gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a 4. 4 headlocks.
4 headlocks.
Yeah, like you said, it definitely set the tone for the night. It definitely kept you interested. There was never no dull moments because you had all those high spots. You had all those. You never know, especially with Logan Paul. You don't know what's gonna happen or who's gonna come out. So shout out to him. 4 headlocks. Hard hitting, high flying, what you want to see, what you want to open a match.
Yep.
How about you?
Let's see. Had this friend been for a belt, this could have been almost man-me worthy. If there was a belt online, but because there was no belt, I'm doing 4.5 headlocks.
Okay. Fair enough.
Everything, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. They said even the moments where they eventually slowed everything down, it made sense. And then when they was ready to pick it back up, they was right back at it.
Pick it back, man.
Eventually, when it comes to Logan Paul, I wanted to see a Logan Paul moment where I know we got it at when he fought Roman. At that time, he was a babyface. But I want to heal Logan Paul. I want Logan and Jake just... What I really want is them to be like Randy Orton and his dad when they was doing that run together. His dad was basically doing the cowardly.
Oh yeah, get the Undertaker.
Yeah, and just going around just screwing up, just like distracting the ref and just screwing around with the opponents. That's the type of run I eventually want to see. I want to see Logan Paul still doing this thing high flying, but I want him to kind of go like the cowardly heel type. As far as performer. And then have his brother Jake come in and just do like all the cowboy bomb stuff, just punch opponents in the face.
Tell you that right there, what you're saying, that right there, you get Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and LA Knight, and you build that up just like that with him in his corner. I'm telling you, that's money.
Yeah.
All that, especially the trash talking on the mic.
Yeah.
And he's already had it with Logan Paul once already,
yep.
Where he told him about where he got something for. So I'm telling you, that's money all day. That's gold, baby.
You know what gold us wrestling fans missed out on was when Logan Paul was babyface, and then Jake Paul did do that spot in for him. Mm-hmm. We could have got Usos versus the Pauls.
Oh, that would have been gold.
Granted, Logan would have had to do most of the work.
Right.
Because as far as Jake, I mean,
just a couple uppercuts. And
yeah,
So
yeah, and I honestly believe he would have put on a much better performance than Ronda would have. And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But overall, you giving it 4 headlocks. I'm gonna give it 4.5. I feel like if a belt was on the line, this definitely would have been 5 headlocks, almost man meat worthy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Actually, what would have made it man meat worthy is if they would have had a belt on the line and they would have given about maybe 6 more minutes. At that point, you'd be like,
yeah, because you would have got at least 2 or 3 more high spots.
Yep.
But again, great match. They definitely set the tone. They brought the energy. They kept the crowd up.
Hey, do you also know why I love Logan Paul, the wrestler? Because he's definitely a student of the game. So one thing that people kind of forgot to mention, like, as far as him working in the ring, there were moments too when he would stop, he would take his time to stop, and he'll work the crowd. Get the crowd to boo.
Definitely noticed that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big thing as far as being the heel. You got to work that crowd.
And it looked like he learned that from Roman, because Roman also did that too a lot in his match, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
So, with that being said, let's move on to Cody Rhodes and beefy man Lesnar. Let's go.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, if you have not seen Brock Lesnar in person, that dude is like us plus another human being put together.
Why is this coffee table that
I've seen Brock Lesnar, but I've never seen him like that close. That dude is massive. I mean, you don't want to run into him in a dark alley. I put it like that.
Is he packing all the meats?
All the meats. I mean, he like Arby's right now. I don't know.
What did Sada Baby say in the block party? He said, "Big brick, white like Brock Lesnar."
Man, that dude is huge. But this match bought something different. So it's the third match.
The rubber
bought
man.
a little something different. So I think the direction they were going is showing Cody's toughness and how he won't quit, that resilience.
Right.
And definitely Brock did his thing. I like what Triple H said, and I'm gonna touch on that in just a second. But this match bought. I mean, it kind of was slow. The build was slow, but as they kept going, I mean, it just got rocking, and got rocking, and got rocking, got rocking. But when they took the turnbuckle pad off, I was like, "Oh, we're doing this again." But we got nothing from that. I don't know if they missed it or it was just a distraction from what else was going on. Like, if you ever noticed in that match, he was pulling Cody to suplex him. He pulled off the turnbuckle. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part, but I'm let you finish.
But there was nothing there. I thought there was so if you see the other match where Brock actually hit the turnbuckle pad, I think it was the one back, was a Backlash?
Yeah, I think it was Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. So I thought they were going to go to that spot again, but they actually didn't. Where he missed and he hit the turnbuckle pad, but they never did anything with it.
I thought watching it, I thought there was a moment where he did push Brock Lesnar. Obviously, he didn't go. Brock Lesnar hit his head, but he hit his chest, and then went back and Cody took advantage of it.
Maybe I missed that one, but I don't remember. I seen him pull it off, but I don't remember them going back to that corner. But again, you could be right. There was so much going on. You try to focus on it. But that match was actually a pretty good match. The rubber match, a surprising ending. I don't think none of us seen that coming, even Triple H.
Yeah.
But Brock Lesnar is definitely one of a kind. He is a unicorn. He can do everything, work with anybody, well, just about almost anybody. I hope everybody. I hope Wyatt. I hope everybody treasures him while we still have him. Overall, good match. What do you think?
Listen, I love me some Brock. Like, even though during the times when he held the Universal title and the WWE titles for hostage, when he went for like his 1.5-year run, I would say that's probably the only knock I give against him outside of WrestleMania 20. But ever since he got those belts, ever since he's got away from those belts, I mean, now you come in as an attraction.
Right.
That's what me personally. That's what I want to see. Just have him come in, kick some ass, and leave.
Right.
And with this match, him and Cody Rhodes. So was this a stipulation match? Because I don't remember.
No stipulation. It was just a rubber match between, which it should have been a stipulation match. But
do you remember why? I mean, if you know that, that's fine.
I don't know why.
So the reason why I bring it up because we was watching it, and Cody. There was one point where Cody Rhodes grabs the stairs and hits Brock with it. Now, if this is a normal match, he's supposed to get disqualified.
Oh, so maybe it was a no disqualification.
Maybe it might have been something they might have announced on as far as on the Peacock that we didn't get it in the arena.
Right.
Because they never mentioned, like, we just thought that it was just a regular match.
Right.
So, but overall, the match, it was a solid performance. I feel like their first bout was still the best one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as far as, they was doing the whole, I think after like the fifth Cody get knocked out the ring and come back in, it was like, okay, y'all, like, come on, like y'all can give us something else. Cause so in our little group, we do like to, do a time to see how long a Lesnar match is gonna take. It takes whatever. I had 9 minutes.
I had 12 minutes.
Yeah, and they did it for 17 minutes. And I feel like 5 of those minutes was him Cody just laying down. Okay, 8, 9, okay, let me run back in the ring. It was just that, like, you could do that a couple times or now, to keep people on their toes, but it's like, well, you done did this like 6 times in a row. It's like,
okay, now let's fight.
Yeah.
So there was really no standout moments in this match. Like nothing stood out. He put Cody through a table. He got back in. He F5 Cody outside. He got back. It was just like, come on, dude. Okay, I get it, but more wrestling, less brutality. That's what we were actually looking for. Because we seen brutality in the second match.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you want to see something different. Or I was looking for maybe somebody to interfere or come in or something like that. We were all waiting for that. Okay, who's going to come out or if anybody's going to interfere in that. Or when the match is over, what's the next thing? But we didn't get any of that.
Right.
But we did get a Brock Lesnar hug.
We got that.
And a hand raised to Cody.
We got a Brock hug and a Brock hand.
And he earned his respect, which that's hard to do because I've never seen Brock.
Yeah, I've never seen Brock do that ever.
I mean, what would you rate the match?
I'm just giving it 3 headlocks.
Okay.
Because I feel like this match could have been more. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, in my mind, I would love to see, granted, we got a few table spots or not, but at that point, when he hit Brock with the steps and they didn't ring the bell, at that point, if I'm Cody, I'm like, okay, so y'all not going to disqualify me? Okay, I'm getting chairs, I'm getting tables, I'm going to get a ladder, a kendo stick, a fire hydrant, hornswoggle, whatever I can grab out of there. I'm whatever I touch, I'm smacking you with it.
Give me the announcer's mic.
Yep. Give me the bell, everything. Give me a few Steve Weisers. I'm popping you upside the head with them. Anything that's in my hand, I'm knocking you out with it. But like I just started being there. Like I feel like being there. Yeah, it was it was a little bit. It was more entertaining. But I feel like if I watched that match at home, I just would be like, all right. I feel like after the 13-minute mark, I'm like, okay, I'm over this. Can we just move this on? So had I been at home watching this, I probably would have gave it a 2. But because I was there, I was in the moment just enjoying it or not. And also with my Apple Watch, my heart rate got up to about 115 beats per minute when that Kingdom came on. I'm telling you, every time that song comes on, I keep wanting to hear Take Keith go, over the thing. If I say rap fans will understand what I'm talking about. But overall, yeah, me personally, this match gets about 3 headlines for me, only because I was there live.
I give it 3 headlines. Like you said, you was there live. So when you're there live and you that music hit, it's such a rush, and it definitely gives you that energy. Like, oh man, it's about to go down. So Definitely feeling that. 3 headlocks as well.
Okay.
Like I said, we got the Brock Lesnar hug and handshake. So
A Brock hug and a shake.
yeah. Hey, don't trademark that. We came up with it.
That's okay, Papa. If I say, I know Papa ain't you will. If I say over there at Nick Khan, I know you gonna copyright it and make money off of it, you coward. But with that being said, so you ready to move on?
Yes, I am.
All right. So next we got was probably some people said it was their match of the night. Was not mine, but to each his own. But and and don't take that as a bad, don't take that as anything bad or anything. But Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Intercontinental Championship.
So
Talk to me.
Slapping sweaty meats.
Hey.
So I actually like this match. So I'm sitting there with my son at this match.
Okay.
He's like, okay. I said, well, who you want to win? He says Drew McIntyre. I said, well, you know he ain't winning, right? Oh, we'll see. So, you get the spots where Drew hits the Claymore. So he looks at me. He says, okay. Gunther kicks out. Now, I thought that this match was hard-hitting. I definitely wanted Gunther to win. Drew McIntyre is kind of like lost in the shuffle right now. So him winning wouldn't have made sense at all. Tell me this, though.
Okay.
If you're Gunther, what's next for you?
Bobby Lashley.
He don't want no smoke with Bobby Lashley. we just gonna say he don't want no smoke with the hurt. But anyway,
but the only problem, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my brain. But booking wise, it probably wouldn't make sense because having a heel versus a heel. I mean, because if Bobby goes for the Continental, you basically restarting a new Hurt business. Obviously, that belt's coming with Bobby. But outside of Bobby, here's what I would do. Because you got a superstar, you got a guy at NXT, which y'all are just crapping all over.
Why
not? And
well, he does have a next opponent, but he does have an opponent who's next. It's already lined up.
Okay, I hope that your next is not a point for who I think it is.
it's already etched in stone. Like
he's not fighting Goldberg, is he?
No, he's not fighting Goldberg. Listen, I don't even think Goldberg stood a chance against Gunther. Okay. That drop kick is lethal, dude.
Hey, shout out to Gunther's frog splash.
Oh yeah,
this man like 6'12" out here in frog splash.
Man, I mean the way he just falls like, you know what? I'm gonna do a belly flop into the pool, just up and over. So,
and I'm looking at it. I'm just like, look how it's so plain and boring, but also so graceful as he comes out the mat,
and it's effective.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm like. Sometimes Gunther, like watching him wrestle, sometimes he can be very extraordinary. The other times, he looks like the character you create a wrestling game with the most basic moveset. You just want to hurry up and just play the game.
Right.
But the great thing about Gunther is you could give this man the Rock sharpshooter, and he'll make it look like gold
all day. So you know what's funny that you brought up a wrestling game. So Gunther's moveset. If you notice in that match, clothesline, drop kick, clothesline, powerbomb combination. You can throw that in the moveset and just boom, done. Yep. If you ever seen that on the game, that's his moveset. I mean, the top rope was that's his finishing move. The top rope was kind of new for me. I'm like, okay, he did this like twice, so is this new?
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
But that drop kick, he's like a door. Just he's got the newer version of the Bob Holly drop kick, which is the most excellent drop kick in the universe.
As I used to call it, the Roy Rage kick. Because Bob Holly was basically just a walking steroid. Shout out to hell, but
oh yeah, but he had one of the best drop kicks in the business.
Oh yeah, he did.
I mean, the elevation was high.
I mean, that man was. I say his drop kicks was. Shout out to him, but his drop kicks was different than the dude who didn't tip.
Too funny.
But with that being said, I would say Oh, So y'all don't see this, but we're looking up here. They're just doing the recap because we're watching NXT on mute. But as far as the match goes, I enjoyed every minute of it. Old school, hard hitting, sweaty meats type wrestling. Like at one point, I thought the arena was just going, the screen was going to turn black and white. That's how old school it was. Yeah, like at that point, but like the match itself from start to end, it was an even pace. It was, because sometimes you can get worried that it might bog down, get too slow. It might get to the levels of like Big Show versus Mark Henry slow. But obviously with these two guys, it never boggles down that far. Because then there are moments where they just ramp it up real quick. So these two guys are veterans, similar styles. They from overseas. So, was this Clash of the Castle type? As far as IC match with Gunther, no. But this was
enough.
It was close. It was close. But this is definitely for me. This is definitely 4 headlocks.
So Sauce, I got something for you.
Okay.
So what Gunther and Drew had is what Cody and Brock should have had, basically.
Yeah.
Their match those matches should have flopped, actually.
Yeah, because I would say with Cody is basically you could do the same, like you could flop it, you have Cody and Brock do that, but you just still have to do like a David versus Goliath.
Right.
Because it would look weird if Cody just come in and just starts no selling, most of what Brock's doing. It would just wouldn't make sense. But I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So it should have been more of that in that match. But what are you going to rate it?
Oh, 4 headlocks, baby.
All that. Yep. All that.
4
I
headlocks.
4 headlocks. That was actually one of those matches. Like, okay, we know it's going to be hard hitting, old school, physical. That's what we like.
I mean, and we already went in here with an expectation, like this is going to be Clash of the Castle, type match where, I mean, at this point, it might as well just start calling it, calling it a clash match with these two because it's basically the only thing that's acceptable is hard hitting. If you give me a soft drop kick, disqualify in the match. Don't even talk to me no more. But yeah, as far as overall, yeah, definitely 4 headlocks. Like this match had my full undivided attention
the whole time. Yes, absolutely. My eyes did not tinker from this match.
Let me tell y'all something. I was in Ford Field watching this match. Like at one point, you would have thought I was sitting there watching the Lions get ready to screw it up in the fourth quarter. That's how focused I was watching this match. I was just like, okay, any moment now.
Come on, you all know how that goes.
Yeah, any fan who sits in that stadium, they know. But yeah, as far as the match, yeah, I know for some people, like when we were back on the party bus, that was some people's match of the night. But like it was definitely good. But as far as my match of the night, it's coming next.
So Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor.
Ooh.
I like the match. I'm not gonna say it was my favorite match. It was better than the main event. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I like this match. Let me tell you why. So we talked about this previously, I believe, on you guys on the last podcast about the card, and we were talking about Finn Balor and how this could be Finn Balor's time to actually win this championship. In my heart of hearts, I really wanted Finn to win, but my mind was telling me Seth Rollins was going to win this match.
I felt the same way. Like I'm gonna let you keep going, but like my heart definitely wanted Finn to win, but this bad boy right here told me that Seth Rollins is gonna win.
It's not over, Colonel Guile. It's not over. So, match out that remains to be seen. But
listen. Let me tell you. Listen, for those who don't know how we're about to go off subject for about a minute. For those who don't know how the NFL works, you can have a year when you're hot, and then the league has 6 months of footage to figure you out. So we're gonna see come September how that's gonna work out. So Listen, y'all. Everything is set for us to win the North, but it will be. You know what's crazy? It will be the most Lions thing ever for them just to win the North, just despite us, criticizing them. But that's a whole nother
Criticize.
But as far as but yeah, like you said, your heart. I think both of us in our hearts, we definitely wanted Balor to win, to finish the 7-year story.
Right.
But I just felt I don't know.
Seth is just on fire right now.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is so. Here's the thing that most people don't understand.
Okay.
Seth is still a heel. Most people don't understand that. But he's gotten so over to the fact, he still has heel tendencies.
Yeah.
Think about it. Look at the vest he wore. He threw it in Finn, like the mind games. Like, Seth is still really technically a heel.
Yep.
He's gotten so over to the point where people just cheer for him. He hasn't changed anything. He's still the way he's always been.
He's basically like The Rock. Like, at one point, like, even when The Rock came back at WrestleMania 19, it was a heel put on their concert. The only city that legitimately, like, just booed him was...
those mother Canuckers.
Yep. It was Canada. Canada was, like, the only city that legitimately had heat with him. Everybody else is like, it's The Rock. Yeah, he's bald-headed. He's a jackass now, but he's The Rock. Like, The Rock could be as messy as he want to be. The Rock could be dating, let's say, who's that terrible couple that just won't go away? Blueface and the other chick.
Yeah.
Rock could be dating, that could be Rock being Blueface, dating her, and them being messy in the streets. And people would be like, Rocky.
All day, baby.
All day. All day. But like, as far as this match goes, once again, this is another match that had my full undivided attention. There was a storyline being told. And I understand it was a storyline, but we had to see the most, to me, the worst move in wrestling right now. We had to see it like 3 times. That stupid buckle bomb.
Yes.
And granted, they're telling a story with this, but if WWE, if you could just please ban this move now, most wrestling fans would greatly appreciate it. These 2 guys, they at this point, I think the story's done.
Right.
We don't have to see the buckle bomb ever again, please. Like, please just let it die. Because we don't want you getting hurt because some move that starts off looking cool and then it just derails.
Yeah, because it almost looked like Seth got derailed at SummerSlam. So
yeah, they were just going back and forth, and I'm just in the crowd. I'm just like, oh my God, just stop.
I think for me, yes, that. But here's when the Judgment Day interfered in this match, which we all knew they were. Of course. That kind of took away from the match to me. Because that's the second time. If Finn was going like Finn, of course he had it in the bag, and now there's tension. I get it; it's the build up.
Yeah,
but I would have rather seen them come out after Seth won to attack Seth, and then it could have created more chaos.
Right.
With Priest trying to cash in, but then him and Balor gets into it because he said he just wanted him to soften him up so he can win. I think that would have been a better way to do it. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm thinking, I'm buying what you're selling. I figured, would have got a really crazy pop. Had the, Judgment Day, everybody just jumping in on him. Would have got a really, really, really sick ass pop.
What's that?
If Sami Zayn would have just pulled up one time.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Because granted, they don't have a match because Owens is hurt. Yeah. But imagine if Sami Zayn just come out with a chair with an equalizer.
Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna vision this. Okay, let's go.
So they're all jumping on Seth, taking turns, and all of a sudden, the music hits. They don't know why. They're like, "What's Sami out here doing? What's going on?" Comes through the crowd, the chair. Let's say comes out with the equalizer. Okay, first person who gets it, Damien. Bam. Second person who gets it, Dominic.
Bam.
Third person who threatens to do it, but we can't because we're a PG public traded company. He threatens Mommy with it, but he wants to go for it, but he can't. But then all of a sudden, Priest gets back up because he's the muscle of the group, and then bam, one more time,
Bam.
and then all of a sudden Balor comes down and he tries to stop Sammy. Then Rollins, he gets his momentum back, does another flippity dippity dip all out of the ring, hits him. Crowd goes insane. I would just say we all go home. We ain't got to watch Roman now.
So I close my eyes and I envision that moment. That would be insane.
Right.
That would be insane. See, sometimes you got to close your eyes and envision these moments, and you got to look at it.
Right.
You got to look at it. You got to put it in your mind. That would be an awesome moment.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome moment.
Because because I really wanted to see them in Detroit. I mean, I've seen them multiple times,
Right.
but together as tag, I would have loved to see a tag match. In Ford Field, but we didn't get it. But Sami Zayn coming out helping, even though he has nothing to do. Yeah, even though he had nothing to do with storyline. I mean, that would have wrote itself. But this match, actually, because I feel like them coming in, jumping in on him, raised the stakes that much higher because he could have lost. This went from a four headlocks. This went from a 4. Now we have 5 headlocks. For me,
I'm gonna give this. I'll give it 5 headlocks.
5.
I think. Well, here's the thing. This match was actually good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad spot. It wasn't besides the buckle bombs, but I get what they were trying to tell the story.
Right.
And Seth can sell anything. And the Judgment Day coming in and causing chaos, and him just laughing at him. But the thing that did it for me the most is the mind games that Seth Rollins played. Like, wearing the same vest and showing it like, hey, this is what I injured you in.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. And disrespect you by throwing it in your face. Oh, that set it off right there. Yeah. And then Balor with the 7 right here on the show. I mean, those kind of detailed things like that, that's what makes a match. That's how you know.
Storytelling.
Yeah, and you get you vested in. Because I was vested in this match.
Oh, yeah. I was the whole time. I was watching this like, definitely watching this match like it was the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, definitely, like I said, definitely 5 headlocks for me. Now, had Finn won, this could have been Man Me Worthy. It could have been. It could have been.
That would have took a huge swerve, but
yeah,
I wouldn't have minded. Yeah. I wouldn't have minded Finn winning. Because that's what then now you got Seth and now you got Damian. Now you watching your back all over the place.
Right.
That would have set up something tremendous.
Yeah. Oh, definitely agree.
Or maybe they do it at Payback.
Hey, let's go. Listen, these two can fight. These two can fight every month up until Mania, and I wouldn't be mad at it. They'll find a new reason to hate each other.
Right.
Like they'll be outside, in the ring. Step around like, hey, fam, remember that one time in catering? Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that ass at Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, they're gonna bring that shit back just to give them a reason. Yeah.
Oh, God, that was probably like the worst title pay-per-view ever.
Hey, before we go to that, remember the original graphic of it?
Yes, and they had to change it.
Like everybody on the internet was like, it was drawn in like, y'all realize what this is, right? Okay.
The one cool thing though about the Great Balls of Fire, and I never forget this, was Samoa Joe back Paul Heyman into a corner, and he's like, let me tell you what's gonna happen. And he's rubbing his head. He was like, I'm going to put my arm around you. I'm going to squeeze real hard. And then you're going to black out. And when you wake up, you're not going to know what happened. And he could have been a Conquista Club. That was the best. I don't think I've ever seen anything. There's a couple things to top that, but that was so awesome with Samoa Joe. Like, if you ever get a chance to watch that clip. Because he sold it.
Speaking of clips, before we get to the next match, when Dr. Love was talking about, because I think the last time when Imperium was wrestling, or it might have been his Gunther, He's like, Dr. Love said, hey, everybody watch the coat flip. And my man hit the spin on that
That
coat.
is the greatest thing. Listen, if you have not seen the coat flip, watch that video. I mean, dude is like a barber giving you a tight lineup. I mean, he just...
And he take the coat off, and my man just like so quick.
I mean, with one arm behind, just... I mean, one of the greatest things ever. I mean, you got to see this. Y'all got to see this.
So, Mr. Detail, I don't feel like talking about it. We can pass it. We can skip it. You want to talk about it?
Everybody deserves a turn.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
So
go ahead.
So we're gonna say Double R versus SB. Let's talk about that match.
Okay, this is what I think about the match. Okay, your turn.
What he said, but you know, when I watched the replay of this, and I actually went back and watched a little bit of this, I didn't realize that I saw a knee to the face and a kick to the head that was so lethal.
Oh, yeah, I saw it on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, just slow mo. I mean, this match was really, really boring. I mean, I kind of got up and went to the restroom, but when I got back, she was basically in the chokehold, so I kind of did what you did. But I'll give her respect, because to go out there and do that, I mean, this was their profession before they came to wrestling.
Right.
So, you know, like, although I didn't really care for the match, but I will give them that respect enough to say, you know what, it could have been something different on the card, but y'all did what y'all did, and Ronda went out on her own terms.
So I'll meet you halfway there. When you said I give them respect, in my brain I interpreted it as give Baylor respect for what she had to put up with and deal with to get this through, because I can care less about Ronda. Like Ronda say, listen, Ronda could have been out there in Alabama helping that security guard, and I still wouldn't have cared. I'm like, why is she here? Like, why does she have to be here? Why do I have to look at her here? But anyway, as far as the match,
wish her were in her future endeavors.
Yeah, so this match was right after that battle royal. So I sat down, I was comfortable, so I didn't want to get back up again. So I had to suffer through that match, and my brain just tuned out most of the time. And I just hope, and this is all I'm gonna say. Oh yeah, by the way, this match is rated Shockmaster because I wish it never existed.
Agreed.
The only thing I hope that we get out of this, because you know how we talk about the battle royal, building to something. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that Baszler, like the way they're booking her, hopefully this turns out like a Seth Rollins situation where you just putting people over and over, and then eventually the payoff is you get a title run.
She's long overdue for it. I mean, Baszler's been putting a lot of people over. So,
yeah.
You know, just give credit where credit is due. Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yeah, please. So with that being said, women's championship match.
The match that screwed us all.
Basically all the betters.
So this was actually a fantastic match. I mean, it kept you on your toes. Shout out to Bianca Belair. I mean, she really sold the hell out of that knee job. I mean, you can't sell no better than that. I mean, she had me convinced, wanted me to go out and buy something that I don't normally buy.
Yep.
So, shout out to her. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Hey, you know who the real winners were in this match? You know who the real winners were?
EO Sky.
No, the real winner was the not named Flair. That's what the real winner was.
Oh yeah, anybody but her.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I love me some Flair. Real quick. Are you guys mad like me still when Big Boss Man did the Household Dog? Listen, I was about to say something really, really terrible regarding Ronda Rousey, but I'll put it this way. Had Ronda Rousey been in that segment, that might would have been helpful for her. But anyway, I love me some Charlotte Flair, but you gotta have a wrestle without a belt on the line. She's got to wrestle without a belt on the line, because at this point, I mean, she's basically she's like the John Cena of the women's division, where it's like you can't tell a story without a belt. But overall, as far as a wrestler, I'll say it every day, every week. the best Flair of the two. Yes, her dad's a great talker, but she can out wrestle that man any day of the week and 6 times on Sunday.
So I'm gonna give you this version. I'll tell me if you ever seen this. She is good.
She is good. She is good. She is good.
They all brought something different to the table.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they all got a time to shine. Shout out to the Miss, because I was hoping we would have seen that, and it came at the perfect time. I didn't really like the finish. I mean, yeah, Bianca won, but I didn't like the way it was finished.
You all right?
I think they could have did it a little differently. But overall, the match was fantastic.
I'm going to bring up something real quick. This is the second SummerSlam where Bianca lost the belt less than a minute.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because she lost it to Becky Lynch.
First Becky Lynch and then Io Sky.
Yeah.
SummerSlam is not really good. Granted, Bianca won. She did technically win, but SummerSlam. Yeah, I mean, SummerSlam ain't been that good to Bianca.
But you know what, though? Maybe she doesn't need it right now.
Oh, she don't. Actually, the last thing she needs right now is basically become another Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Where it's like, where she gets into this hole where she can't tell a story with her without gold around.
What I do think she needs, though, is a heel turn.
Oh yeah, we've been wanting. Listen, I need them to bring back. Oh, say Mad Hatter knows what's up. Listen, Charlotte Flair,
she good.
She good. And then style of profiling. Listen,
Woo!
Mad Chatter, you know what time it is. But I want to see. It's two people that I want to see make a resurrection. I'm sorry, make a resurgence. I want to see.
Don't tell me you won't.
I want to see resurgence of NXT Shayna Baszler and the return of NXT Bianca Belair.
Oh,
them
yeah.
two. I'm just saying, like, respect. Them two respectively. Like, them two was a problem.
NXT Bianca Belair was, like you said, was a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, the promo she gave.
And that's the biggest thing, the promos.
The promo she gave was fantastic. I mean, I get they built her up now, to where she's a role model. She's all this stuff. NXT Shayna Baszler was a whole different animal.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the podcast a couple weeks ago when somebody asked about top women. Oh, yeah. In my top 5, NXT Shayna Baszler, no question about it.
Oh, yeah.
She would squash everybody. I say she had her own way.
You know who else they need to bring back?
Who?
NXT Asuka. She has been, ever since she lost to Charlotte at that WrestleMania, she hasn't been the same.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent, yeah, because it was almost like in order for her to get a decent like title runs, she almost had to be turned to almost a goofball because Vince. The wrestling, I don't think. Maybe her character probably took a step back, but like I guess her wrestling, like we go to the main roster, yeah, your wrestler does take a step back because you do less is more in the way WWE looks at things. But it's like we were supposed to get a heel Asuka, but then this is what we got now. So
not to say this I like this Asuka a little bit, but it's not. When Asuka first came to the main roster, she was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, she's like, "Hi, my name's Asuka." Hold that.
Right. That's what you got. You got the here. What? Bam. Now you got it here. So
yeah.
So I mean, I'm glad they're mixing it up. I'm interested to see how Io fits into this mix because now I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
I've always been a fan of SmackDown, and SmackDown always puts on a better product.
Oh yeah, since 2002.
Yeah. So now that I don't know about Bayley, but now that Io's on SmackDown, I think her and Asuka will mix it up a little bit more.
Oh yeah, because them two got history. Yeah. We're gonna get more swearing in Japanese, which is gonna be great because I can't speak Japanese. And as far as these two, now Asuka's got to go on the chase for her belt. Just give me too much. Just because the way that women's booking is all over the place right now, just in wrestling in general. Just give me 2 months. Just give me 2 months of them two working together.
Oh yeah, it'd be
just
awesome.
Give me 2 months. 3 is asking for a lot, but give me 2 months. Let them go until let them go
Survivor
until.
Series.
I mean, we talk. That's like November. We just in August, 3 months. That's asking a whole lot. But if I can get it, listen, I'm not complaining.
I'll take it.
I'll take it all day, all week. So with that being said, this right here. 5 headlocks.
I think 5 headlocks. I mean, I'm in agreement with you.
I mean, last few matches have been pretty much, 5 headlock bangers. I mean, the women's match, the heavyweight match, and the Intercontinental, all 3 5 headlock bangers.
So now,
well, for me.
Now we get to the banger of all bangers.
Right.
Oh,
we're like we're just in the bottom of the third, right?
Yeah, we're in the bottom of the third.
So we got about 5 more years of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, versus Jey Uso.
Ooh, he had that part. Listen, Fort Phil turned up.
Turned up. I mean, all he had to do was just bring out the drinks, and it was over.
The only thing that was missing at this point was Kid Rock coming out. I mean, the crowd was the Detroit crowd was going so crazy. That was on either Eminem. But imagine all that's going, and then Eminem just shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, dude!
Ford Field would have literally just only people in Michigan want to understand what I'm about to say. That Ford Field would have blew off and just been in the middle of 75.
Right.
And it was just they would have to shut the whole freeway down.
Right.
This freeway just would have been on the roof just would have been stuck on 75. It would have took them like 4 days to just get it out of there.
And that's a house party analogy if y'all didn't know. So this match, Tribal Combat, if Jey Uso wins, not only does he become the new tribal chief, but he also becomes the Universal Champion.
And the president of Earth.
Right. The universe acknowledged me, as Roman Reigns say.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of action in this match.
Yeah.
We know who's gonna get a solo spot.
Right. Even though there's supposed to be no interference involved, but go ahead.
So it was a point in this match where Roman actually got hurt.
Yeah, I heard.
I think it was a table spot.
Okay.
My question is, what stood out to you in this match?
You know what it was? So this match, you would have thought the way that Jay came out, you would have thought this was like home field advantage. This is once again, it's like Rocky versus Drago, except Drago is the underdog. That's kind of what I got out of it. And I mean, yeah, obviously with the swerves. But I guess to answer your question, what I got out of it was, basically just Rocky versus Drago, but Drago's on. Yeah, that's how I got it.
So here's my question. Damn near every match, with the exception of maybe a few, Roman has escaped with this title. Hook, crook, line, and sinker. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's not new.
Right. This is the formula for his matches, unless it was John Cena. But
what's the name used to do the same? What's the name used to? He almost wrote the script on it,
right.
Or perfect the script on Edge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the
equal opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we all knew Roman Reigns was going to win this match, right?
Right.
But what if Jay actually won, and then they pulled the Dusty Rhodes up?
Before I answer, as far as do we like Chris Jericho? Listen, Chris Jericho is my personal GOAT of Mount Rushmore, and I've gotten to like 2-day arguments about it. But that's just me personally. he's one of my personal GOATs.
He's on my list, but he's not at the top.
I got, so a lot of people, he's kind of like that B level as far as like type wrestler. Oh, shout out to Big O.
Yeah.
I say, oh, you don't even go here. Yeah, that's Bianca. That's the NXT Bianca. I'm telling y'all. Let's see. Shout out to Mad Chatter. Listen, Eminem would have came out there with Mom's. Listen, Ford Field wasn't ready for Mom's Spaghetti.
Right.
That place is only open like 3 days a week for like 5 hours. It's weird. And you see, if Jay would have won Ford Field, it would have combusted. That place would have turned into an outdoor stadium.
Yeah. Like you said, blow the roof off. It's on 75.
It says then shout out to Big O again. Funniest moment of the night, Solo dragging Jay across the floor.
Yeah, eventually he just had to get him up and say, you know what, you're too heavy, let's go.
Yep. And then before we continue, my particular GOATs, I guess if I had to go to as I call it, the GOAT Rushmore, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Mick Foley, and my fourth one, I'm just for the sake of it right now, because I'm going to spoil this, just throw Stone Cold in there.
Okay, so mine is The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Hulk Hogan, because he dominated the 80s for like years. I'm going to say, I'm going to get Stone Cold in there. It's just off the top of my head. And then I'm going to put, actually, Bret the Hitman Hart. That dude, a lot of people don't give him enough credit, but he actually dominated a lot between the 90s and the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Like, Bret used to be my GOAT, but then Kurt Angle came along, and he was better Bret Hart. I don't know. It's funny, you old school wrestling fans. Oh, I could just see their teeth seething when I told them that. I'm like, I'm not trying to crap.
Angle.
I'm like, I get it. Listen, I'm like, listen, I get it. I know y'all love your golden age wrestlers. I know that's who y'all grew up with. That's your childhood heroes. But Bret used to be my childhood hero. Then a man with intensity, integrity, intelligence came along, and here we are.
Yeah, and the reason why I put Hogan, just to clear this up, Hogan had the charisma. He had you just involved in wrestling. Oh, yeah. Emotionally, not really the wrestling part, but emotionally, he knew how to bring everybody in. So
that's like how they always talk about how you get these wrestling fans that used to just talk about I hate Cena can't wrestle. He sucks wrestling. Hulk sucked at wrestling. Ric Flair sucked at wrestling, and The Rock sucked at wrestling.
But
so
they can bring you in.
Yeah, and that was what they did.
Yeah.
Sure, Ric Flair said at the time, he was like, I wasn't great as I think I was. I just did a lot of punches and headlocks. That was my main repertoire. But getting back to business.
And business is good.
So this match itself, like, we all knew the outcome. I was like, okay, just how y'all gonna entertain us for 35 minutes? This is what was going in my head. So it's supposed to, they kept talking about it's tribal combat. No one is allowed to interfere. Okay. Both his brothers clearly didn't get the memo.
No, because they both whooped Jay's ass. So.
Yeah. So they both didn't get this memo. So, and I'm just sitting there confused, like, well, why did y'all, whatever. Well, what they should have said was no outside, or they could have said, like, no outside interference. And then you could interpret it as, okay, well, maybe only Samoans are allowed to, no one outside of the Samoan family can interfere. I would have been fine with that.
Right. But here's the crazy part. When they say no interference, but it's tribal combat, anything goes.
Yeah.
So how do you make a stipulation without a stipulation? You know what I mean? Like, how do you make a stipulation without a stipulation? Like, okay.
That's say long when he basically got this Chris Jericho disqualified a 4-way match.
There's no disqualification.
Yep. But anyway, as far as the match goes, I mean, everybody knew the outcome. We just got to get through these 35 minutes to see. I think at Ford Field, like with the dirt sheets, everybody was like, you know who's coming back. Then I say, if you smell.
And everybody was anticipating it, and they did smell absolutely nothing.
So I was like, y'all, everybody get their hopes up off of dirt sheets. Like, This is what happens when. This is why, me personally, this is why I kind of stopped dealing with dirt sheets. I kind of like just being more surprised as a fan because when you start digging the dirt sheets, then every time you start watching wrestling shows, you start having expectations of what's supposed to happen instead of what you allow it to happen.
Right, absolutely.
So that, because I feel like, for me, it started at WrestleMania 23 when I found out Stone Cold was going to be the referee, what's his name? So, with the dirt sheets, every weekend watching Monday Night Raw, I was like, okay, when's Stone Cold coming? When's Stone Cold coming? When's Stone Cold coming? I don't think they announced him as ref to the go home show.
Yeah, I think it was like the Monday before, and then he came out with Trump. And,
yeah. So, because it might not, it was either the go home show or the show before that one. So at that point, I was like, okay, cool, he's here. Okay, now what? It's like, instead of just being legitimately surprised. So a lot of times, I know a lot of these podcasters and whatever, they like to dig deep into the dirt sheets. Me, I like to just be a fan and just be surprised at what happens. That's just me. Y'all do y'all. So, as far as the match itself, I thought, this match deal was supposed to do. I'm giving it 3 headlocks. But as far as the storyline, this storyline needs to come. Please, this storyline got to come to an end. At least by Mania 40.
The 3rd inning. So I'm going to give it 4 headlocks. I mean, we knew the Jey Uso thing, but we didn't know what Jey was going to do.
Right.
So that was kind of a shock. Like, okay, it's a possibility. We see Solo. Then so for a minute, I'm like, wait a minute, that's got to be Jey. He's tall, but I also thought it could have been another member of the family, which could have been that way. But of course, we all knew Jey was coming back, just in what capacity.
Right.
But they were kind of setting up that story, which I think I know where they're going with this story. You got the spotlight that's always been about you and this and that, and it should be about me. And
You know who else did that? Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. But go ahead.
Yeah, and look where it got them.
Rehab and, at this point, rehab and irrelevant.
Well,
I'll let y'all figure out which one is which.
Yeah, they've been there too. So anyway, they're just more relevant now. But anyway, like I said, that's pretty much in a nutshell.
So I guess my final thought as far as this match, by the time if we at the top of the 3rd, and it's gonna get to a certain point where the Roman's gonna become babyface and everybody else gonna be heel. Like, just bring this to an end, y'all. Like, just write, please. Just Paul Heyman, just write some type of story that ends it at Mania 40, please, because we cannot deal with another 3 years of this.
No,
I mean, at this point, the story's plateaued, and we're getting to the point where we might start going down.
I'm actually fine with Roman being champion. I just like to see him do something different.
Yeah.
Like outside of the bloodline. Like, of course, he had Cody, but that entailed with that. But
yeah,
give him somebody new. Like we all know, Cody's gonna be the one to dethrone him when it's time. Like,
just gotta wait till April.
Yeah, give him somebody. Give him a fresh face, like a Bobby Lashley.
I was just about to say.
I mean, that dude, he ain't just gonna run over Bobby.
Yeah, we unfortunately we got screwed at that 2 years about. We got screwed at, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because Big E just had to cash in. At the same Monday Night Raw as the first Monday Night Football of the year. So it was like, whatever.
Ratings, baby, ratings.
Yeah.
But, like I said, SummerSlam was a good success.
How many headlocks you give him this pay-per-view?
I will give it 4 headlocks.
That's fair, because that's about pretty much why I'll give it.
Yeah, it was a solid pay-per-view. You're always going to get that one match in the pay-per-view where you're just like, I can take it or leave it.
Yep.
But 4 headlocks.
So, as everybody knows, we have a little segment on here that we do before we end the show.
Okay.
Heat of the week. Now, in the marks out there, when they think heat, obviously they think, something's bad in the locker room, somebody's, being a Richard, somebody's being an a-hole, whatever. But here, we take a different spin where our heat of the week is somebody's positive, where it's a wrestler, it might be a promo match, whatever. What you got for me, D-Town?
So I'm gonna say heat of the week is I'm gonna say LA Knight.
Okay.
His promos leading up to this was actually good. And the last one he did, where he really pissed off Karrion Kross. This close, Knight. This close. So leading up into that, it actually was some entertaining stuff.
Right.
Because it got everybody involved, even the Miz, the B-lister. But yeah, I'll give him the heat of the week. How about you?
So, since this is the 1 year anniversary of our show, is it okay if I do two?
Absolutely.
Okay, appreciate it.
It's your world. I'm just in it.
So my heat, I have two heats of the week. One is the city of Detroit. Y'all came up, y'all showed out, and y'all didn't tear the city down.
Yeah.
And when I say, you showed the city of Detroit, you showed the world once again why that coward Tony Khan needs to bring more AEW shows here. Because when wrestling comes here, we show up and we show out. And, Philadelphia, Chicago, I feel like Philadelphia, Chicago up here, we're probably tier 2.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But Detroit, y'all came together, y'all did your thing. Y'all didn't try to burn down the east side, thank God. Y'all didn't try to trash and litter the whole entire downtown. And by those, I'm talking about the people who live outside the city who come in, even though Detroiters are guilty of it as well. And yeah. Then my second heat of the week is a man that without him, this wouldn't have started. I know he's probably watching right now, but my other heat of the week has to go to Papa Mafia.
Papa Mafia. Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, shout out to Papa Mafia. He's up my heat of the week as well, because without him, he came to us over a year ago, at the local bar. He said, hey, I see you guys. I see you and Dr. Love. You guys will sit there and just talk hours and hours and hours about stuff. Hey, why don't you guys, how you guys feel about a little podcasting? I was like, okay. And I'll be honest with you, usually when people offer me stuff that's outside my comfort zone, I usually just be like, yeah, I'm good. Or I'm like, well, maybe next time. But for some reason, I said, you know what? Hell, let's just do it. Let's do it right now. And granted, the original plan was we was going to kind of start in the beginning of 2024. But Papa Mafia was like, well, we want to get you guys started right because SummerSlam's coming up. And I told Doc, because Dr. Love plan was when it started at the beginning of the year, New Year. And I told Doc, I said, listen, why don't we just do it now? Let's just start next week. I mean, and Papa Mafia came over, showed us how, the podcast Melon is what we use. He showed me how it worked. I kind of sat there and just I'll be honest with you, when he was showing me, I was spacing out. When he was showing me, I wasn't paying much attention. But then the next day, we got back on. We got back on here and we sat there and just chit chatted. And he went through everything to show me how everything worked. And we got Dr. Love on board and whatnot, and we just got the ball rolling. And I also want, like I said, Dr. Love, I know, like I said, you're sick. You're not feeling well. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all might not understand how good Dr. Love is at, how good he is at doing this stuff, because it's not easy to do, especially doing the intros, all this stuff. How he can just turn it on, I always make sure I always make, I may not do it on camera, but off stage I always tell him, give him credit, listen, you the man when it comes to this or not, and I'm telling y'all, he makes it look so easy, as far as hosting and whatnot. And shout out to him, like I said, keep eating those Rico lies. I say just bathe yourself with some Vicks Vapor Rub. You be back next week or whatnot. And also just want to give a shout out to you, Mr. D. Tom, for stepping in and coming by, and showing everyone why these two young wrestling lads from Michigan, why we like to sit here and blabber about wrestling. And on that note, Mr. D. Tom, you got anything left to add?
I just want to say thank you for having me on. I've been on with you guys a couple times. It's always fun to do it. Fun to talk wrestling. Dr. Love, get well soon. Papa Mafia, thank you again. It's always fun to do this. I've done podcasts before. I was a part of one. Shout out to PWE.
Hey, shout out to y'all.
It's always fun, but we did it not on a streaming platform, but more on this platform. But yeah, definitely fun. Wouldn't mind doing it again. And thank you for having me, Sauce. I love it, man. We're coming off of SummerSlam, so it's definitely awesome. Definitely the right time. So thank you guys again for having me.
And with that being said, y'all be happy. Y'all be safe to be healthy. Most importantly, be good. I got Taco Bell to eat.
Peace.